Hello, I am Wanderer001 and this is my review of the Wyze Smart Plug from Wyze Labs, not just Wyze Cams anymore. I felt it almost necessary to review the Wyze Plug, mainly because, well, back in July, Home Depot did an oopsie and released some specifications about the plug early, and I did a video of it because I happened to be around and saw it. So that's over there, not pertinent anymore, but I felt compelled to do a review. So I actually ordered this before it was readily available to the public. So I did early backing, which got me a sticker saying that I was a early backer of the plug. But realistically, plugs are where I got my start in smart home and smart automation. So new plug comes out, I want to check it out. So what you're looking at is a plug that is 2.7 inches long with a height of 1.5 inch and a depth of 1 inch. Now, I will say, in that video over there, when it was leaked, I compared this to the Amazon Smart Plug because, well, the form factor looks very much like it. However, here is the Amazon Smart Plug. Here is the Wyze Plug. While the form factor is very similar, here's the thing. The Wyze Plug is much smaller. It's in every dimension, it is smaller than your Amazon plug. Here's the other thing, and I'm going to start this review off with saying this. The price for this is $15 as compared to every other smart plug that's on the market right now. That is the price to beat. But here's the other thing. You get two Wyze plugs for that price. Now, I have one kind of set up in my bedroom, so I don't have both of them to show you right now. But you get two for $15. That is a very hard price to beat. So, the device itself, the front, it's nothing. You have your Wyze logo. You've got an LED status light there. It's all matte finish. Top is also matte. There's nothing on this side. There's a singular button on this side to turn the device on and off. Now, if you have seen any of my other reviews for smart plugs, there's a long playlist over there. You'll know that my preferred smart plug right now is the TP-Link Mini. This is a close second, I'm gonna say. The placement of the button on this being on the side means that, well, if you put it in a hard to reach place, it might be tricky to actuate. Back, again, nothing really to look at. Maximum voltage for this is 15 amps. They did stress that, so 15 amp. Now, price is one thing, but the other thing that helps gauge a smart plug or a smart device is how easy it is to set up. So let's take a look at that. Setup of Wyze Plug. First, we open the Wyze app, come up to the three dots in the corner, and we select Add Product. Next, we select Plug. And here it says make sure you're on 2.4 gigahertz, and then insert your Wyze Plug into power, and then push the on button until you get an LED light. We're going to put it in and see if the LED light comes on without actually having to turn or press the Wyze power button. And there we got a blinking light. So we did not actually have to press the button, which is good. So we're gonna hit next. I preloaded my information for my Wi-Fi network for my IoT devices, so we're gonna hit next. All right, so we have to drop the 2.4 and go to the broadcast network that this is doing. So we're gonna hit the drop down here, and we're gonna long press and hold, and get that to go straight, because I don't know why it decided to go crazy on me. All right, here's our Wyze Plug. We're gonna connect to that. And then we go back here. It's connected, but has no internet, which is fine. And then we're gonna sit here and wait for the countdown to connect. Hopefully it doesn't take the whole time. We'll see. Probably won't make you sit through all of it if it does actually take the full time. And hopefully, so finish setup. Okay, shadow was a cat walking by. Finish setup. We can enter a name here if we want. I'm not sure if I'm gonna add well, we'll have to do something. So, Wyze Plug 1. I do realize that's not the correct spelling for Wyze, but just wanted to have something in there, and we're gonna finish setup. And I've earned a badge. Now, I did order this before it was available, so I did the pre-order. So I don't know if this badge is because of that, We will find out, and I'll find out where the badge actually goes a little later. But here we can see my Wyze Plug 1. Pretty quick response, I like it, not bad. Now, setup, really easy, right? Well, here's the thing. The plug that I originally set up and had in my bedroom and have been using for the last month and a half was super easy, no problem. This plug, when I tried setting it up before this review, it took me 6 attempts to set it up. Now, I can't tell if that's because, well, one, I was on Android 10 for this one and not on Android 10. I was on Android, insert flavor of the month here, can't remember. I had to do a security update for Android 10 in order to actually get this to set up. So hopefully in the future, that will not be a problem for you. But just know, you get 2 of these in a box, one could be easy to set up, one might give you a little more difficulty. So make sure, one, that you check your phone and everything is up to date. And 2, one of the options that they did say was make sure that your data was off. For this one, I made sure to turn the data off. Now, on that note, Wyze, and one of the reasons I like Wyze as opposed to something like Amazon Plug, but TP and Wemo do similarly, is the fact that it is compatible with not just Amazon products. It is compatible with Google. It is compatible with Amazon. It's compatible with IFTTT, which is great. Now, however, I will say that again, after adding this to my Wyze account and having Wyze already linked to my Google account, I had to unlink and then relink the Wyze skill in Google in order for this to be picked up. Amazon, right away, no problems. However, I will say the Amazon skill compared to the Google skill, there's an issue. Amazon, when you trigger it using the voice assistant, there is a noticeable delay between sending the command and the command being actuated. In Google, that's not a problem. It happens fairly quickly. Here, let me show you what I'm talking about.
Problem-free is the way.
Alexa, turn on basement plug. Alexa, turn off basement plug. Hey Google, turn on basement plug.
Okay, turning basement plug on.
Hey Google, turn off basement plug.
Okay, turning off basement plug.
Now, I'm not saying that that is bad, but it is a data point that I have not seen anybody else really address when they've been reviewing this plug, and I wanted to make you aware of that. Now, some other things to consider about this plug. Well, one is, if you take this out of the socket or you have a power failure, how long does it take for this to reestablish a connection to the network? So that actually takes this plug 20 seconds to reestablish itself to the network. I will also say, if you leave your status light on and the status light stops blinking, it is not finished connecting to the network. I went into my mobile app and I went, hey, I should be able to turn this on and off, but I can't do it yet. So there's a little extra lag time between status light blinking turned off and then it being connected to the network. Speaking of the application, well, that's the other way that you can interact with this plug. So let's take a look at the application. Here you have the Wyze app. When you first log into it, you can see I have 2 separate plugs. Anytime you add a new plug or a new item, it will always go to the top here. You can toggle your plug on and off, and there you can see the light turning on and off to the side. Now, the app itself, I will say, was originally designed for the Wyze cameras. So they kind of cannibalized and built upon the app for these extra things such as the plug. So down here, these are all pretty much related to the Wyze cams. That's your shopping, that's your account. So let's actually just pop into the plug to see what you can and cannot do. Actually, we're gonna go into this plug because this is the plug I use more often. So inside the plug, the settings are, you can turn it on or off, and that's toggling a plug nowhere near where we are currently. You have timer, which will allow you to, right here it says, turn plug on after X amount of whatever, or you can set it to turn plug off after X amount. It's fairly standard for a smart plug. You also have vacation mode, which will allow you to put this plug into a vacation mode. So what it will do is, will automatically turn on and off the plug as if you were home. Now, you don't get to set anything up there. You can also tell it to, don't show me this again. We're just gonna go turn on, and now vacation mode is on. You can see it's in green. If you wanna turn that off, you just click on it again. So, turn on and off. So, we'll randomly turn the plug on and off based on making it look like you're home. Here you have runtime. So today you can see it's been on for 59 minutes, and it will show you exactly when it has been on. Nice little chart there. Average, I get about hour 45 because this is my bedroom light, so it's only on really in the evenings. But here it'll show you just about how long it stays on and, give you a little graph and kind of help you figure out you're using your plug. Now keep in mind that this does not keep track of energy in any way, shape, or form. It just tells you readouts of how long things have been on. Up here you have settings. Coming to settings, you can change the device name. So just like when you originally set it up, you can change the device name there. Plug status light. Now this is neat. I like this. You can turn that on or off. And since it's in my bedroom, I like to keep that off because while the status light isn't terribly bright, I don't want that on. Schedule automation. So Wyze allows you to set up specific scheduling. So for me, these are all things that I set up for my Wyze Cam and Wyze Cam Pan to turn on and off based on specific days of the week. Now, to set up an automation, you come up here, press the plus sign, so you can create a schedule, a shortcut, or a device trigger. In our case, just so you can see, we're gonna set a shortcut, and we will call this Wyze Plug, and select an action. Now, from here, you would have to select either your basement or bedroom plug, so we're gonna go that, and we're gonna select turn on or off. We're gonna say turn off, and hit save, and now we have a trigger that will add a shortcut to our main menu. Now we are gonna discard all that because I really don't wanna have that on my main screen. I prefer to use my voice to activate the plugs, or the button on the device. Share, well, if you had somebody else with a Wyze account, you could share access to specific things using this. Now, if you press on share, you would have to know their email address in order to do that. Device info is just that. It tells you all the device info. It will allow you to update directly from there. However, when a update is pushed, it does automatically show up on the launch screen when you enter the app. And that really is the Wyze Plug. The rest of the app is really meant for a lot of the other things, the Wyze Sense, the Wyze Bulbs, and the Wyze Cam. They pretty much are making their own little ecosystem now. So if you're interested, I'll put a link over there to one of the Wyze Cam videos that I've done so that you can get an idea of other things that the app can do. This was mainly just to show you what the Smart Plug application could do. Something else that I don't see a lot of reviewers do in regards to smart devices or smart plugs, which I tend to like to find out, is what happens if power's lost. How does the device return? What is the device's return state once power is restored? Meaning, if the plug is on and power is lost, what happens? Well, in the case of Wyze here, if the plug is turned on, meaning you have a light on, when power returns after being lost, the plug and light will be back on. If the plug, aka light, is turned off, when power is lost and then restored, the plug and light will be off. There are some other plugs that will return to an on state even if it was off, which is problematic sometimes if you lose power in the day and is restored later in the evening. Having a light come on at 3 o'clock in the morning, not the greatest thing. So you won't have that problem with the Wyze Plug. Now the LED light here is blue. As I stated before, it's not terrible if you have this in a bedroom. It's small enough and not terribly bright to disturb you, but you can turn it off as you saw in the app. You may have also noticed that during the setup, this is a 2.4 gigahertz only smart plug, meaning that is the Wi-Fi spectrum that you would use. So you don't use 5 gigahertz with this. It's not 5 gigahertz is for things that need to be fast. This does not need to be fast. This needs longer range, which is why it is only 2.4 gigahertz. So one of the other things that I like to do with all of my smart devices, because I'm power conscientious, so to speak, I came from a condo which everything ran on electricity, I want to know how much this uses when in idle state and when it is just turned on with nothing actually plugged in. So when the plug is turned in, connected to your network, but not on in any way, shape, or form with nothing plugged into it, it uses between 0.06 to negligible amounts of power. The only other smart plug that I've had that has that type of idle level is the TP-Link Mini, again, review over there, smart plug. So in idle state, very good, uses very little power. Similarly, when the plug is on and nothing is plugged into it, it uses between 1.7 to 1.2. Now, I did notice that with the idle and with it being on, the longer that it is in those states, the less power that it uses. So in idle, it starts at 1.6, but the longer it stayed in the idle state, the power level drops. Similarly, when turned on, it starts at 1.7, but then slowly goes down to the 1.2. Again, making it one of the better plugs for somebody who's conscientious about electrical usage. So the last thing to cover, hubs. This is a hubless device, meaning it sits on your Wi-Fi network as a singular device. It does not connect to a smart home hub and then talk to the hub, which is connected to your network. This sits on your network. So if you have a lot of smart home devices on your network, this will just be another one on your network. Now, I've got a lot of smart home devices that are hubless and have had no issues. So for most people, you won't have an issue adding a few of these to your network. Now, given the form factor, given the price, and given the functionality that you get from this, I have been a Wyze product fan since the Wyze Cam version 1. And realistically, I think I was skeptical with the plug, because what more can you do to a smart plug that hasn't already been done? Well, you get a smaller form factor than every plug on the market currently. You get 2 for the price well under anything that's currently on the market that's not like a Chinese knockoff. So if you are in the market for a smart plug, I would highly recommend checking out the Wyze Smart Plug, because, well, $15 gets you 2 of them. So you can set up a whole bunch of these for well under any price that's currently available. And the fact that it is interoperable with all the services. I hate things that compartmentalize and only work with one service. Wyze, they're sticking to not doing that, so good on them. So if you're looking for a smart plug, highly recommend checking it out. I have been Wanderer001. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the area below. And as always, thanks for watching.